Hi friends, in this lesson, now we are going to your children are going to be tackling subtraction with regrouping using the algorithm. All right, back in the day, we called this borrowing. So we're going to try to avoid that terminology because technically we're not borrowing and then giving it back. We are regrouping. So let's jump in and look at this together. All right, so we're still in the same standard. We're working on the standard number sense and operation 2 if you're in Florida. Of course, outside of Florida, it would be something different. We're subtracting multi-digit whole numbers. We're building that understanding and subtraction of division because later on they're going to see that division is just repeated subtraction. Our benchmark 2.1, we're working on subtracting whole digit numbers now with the algorithm so that students build that fluency. All right, so we have a problem here where it's a word problem and we're subtracting 3,258 and we're subtracting 1,392 from that. All right, so if you want to look at a more in-depth process of this subtraction, check out the student video, but let's look at the student worksheet and just kind of talk through it. Okay, so with the algorithm, we always start on the ones place. We have to, especially now because we're regrouping. It would be wrong if we started with the higher place value. So in this case, we can see subtract the ones, pretty straightforward. But then when we get to the tens, we're trying to take 9 tens away from 5 tens. And using that terminology when you're working with your children, it's really going to help them understand place value. So we say, wait a second, we don't have enough tens, do we? So we have to regroup. Traditionally, we called this borrowing, but we're regrouping 200 as 110 tens. So there's the 100. We are grouping the 10 tens with the 5 tens. Now, I know a lot of times we'll just mark it out and put the little 1 beside the 5 to show 15, but I like showing that we are grouping the 10 tens with the 5 tens. So we mark it out to show when we add those together, now we have 15 tens. I have a gnat flying around my face. So then we can subtract 150 minus 90 gives us 60, the 6 tens. And then we're subtracting the thousands. So at this point, we have the hundreds, I'm sorry. We're trying to take 300s away from 100. Can't do it. So we're regrouping 3,000 as 2,000s and 10 hundreds. So we see the 2,000s here and the 10 hundreds, which make 3,000. And then we're grouping the 10 hundreds with the 100. So we had the 100, we're grouping the 10 with it. So again, I like to talk about that. We're grouping it. So now we have 10 tens, 10 hundreds plus 100. So we have 11 hundreds. And so that's 1100 minus 300, which gives us 800. And then finally, 2,000 minus 1,000. We don't have to do any, well, we're at the end. We wouldn't have to regroup there until when we get into negative numbers, we could have a bigger number. But for now, of course, that won't happen. Okay, so again, we go really in depth in it in the student version. In the student version, we also looked at Polypad and we looked at how you can use base 10 blocks to show this. Now, the base 10 blocks is the most concrete model for them. That is where we can really visually see the value of those two numbers and see the regrouping. So in this one, let's look at using exploding dots. You can actually use that one also. It's a little bit more abstract, but that might be something that some of your students might enjoy, some of your children. So let's just make us up a problem here because with the exploding dots, you can only do 3 digits. So we can't do this problem, but let's say we're subtracting 532 minus, let's just say we're going 489. All right, so exploding dots, it's under numbers. You go down to additional tools, and here we have it. So we will put these two here. All right, so first of all, I am going, and then I'm going to go out here a little bit. Let's just drag these over. Now this is so cool how this works. I love this one so much. Okay, So first we're going to model 532. So notice this first one on the left is the hundreds. You see the 100 down in the bottom. As I drag the dots in there, you'll see that number on the top begin to build. I'll hit C on my keyboard, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have the 500s now. Now we're going to build 30. So 3 tens, 1, 2, 3. And we'll build the 2 ones, 1, 2. All right. Now let's build 489. So let's drag the dot over there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 89. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so we see here 532 minus 489. All right, let's model this. Let's make it look like a subtraction problem here. All right, and I'm going to put a frame down on the bottom. Okay, so in the first one, I'm saying, okay, wait a second. I would need to come up here and be able to mark out 9 dots. I don't have 9 dots to mark out. So what can I do? I love this feature. So we can take one of my 10s and drag it over here. And watch what happens. Now we have 12 ones. So it's the same thing as using the algorithm, how we regrouped, and we have now an additional 10 of that place value. Now I can take away 9. So what I like doing is showing, okay, well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here let's mark out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's 3 left. Of course, students might just know 12 minus 9 is 3, but if they need a little extra support, they can visually do that to see 12 minus 9 is 3. Sometimes we need to practice with some of those teen numbers and subtraction. Okay, so then same thing here. We cannot take away 8 tens from 2 tens. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of those hundreds and move it over here. And now we have 12 tens. So now we can take away 8 tens. So we can show we're taking away 3, 6, 7, 8. So let's mark out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, students may know 12 minus 8. If they know that fact, great. But again, this just helps us build that fluency if they're still working on teen numbers. So we have 4 left when we take away. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now finally, we have 400s minus 400s, so we have no hundreds. So 532 minus 489 leaves us with a difference of 40. Oh, my apologies. I hit the wrong button and there we go. Leaves us with a difference of 43. All right, my friends. So I hope that you and your students enjoyed this lesson. I do have the link on the PDF. If you find the PDF, I'll also drop the link for PolyPad below in the description below. All right, hope you all enjoyed this lesson. You get lots of good practice with subtracting using the algorithm. It's great for them. One thing I do want to add is that I do want students to have this conceptual understanding. I do want them to practice with using PolyPad to help them if they're really struggling with understanding why. But then there's also a place where they just need to practice so that they get more fluent. So hopefully between the two, between that manipulative to help them understand and then some practice, they'll become little subtracting wizards. All right, thanks for joining. See you in the next one.